Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Viratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhir Yajatraah Sthirairangai Stushtvagum Sastanubhi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedah Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The second Mundaka of Mundakopanishad begins with declaring or awakening the student to the Paravidya or the higher knowledge. It mentions about the jivas with an example. Just as from fire there are numerous sparks of the same nature as fire, similarly there are many jivas rising from that supreme reality. This example makes us understand that in essence the jiva is not different from Brahman. But because of the differences, in the case of the sparks, difference of the fuel, the size and the longevity is different, and so it is perceived as different. Similarly, In the case of the jivas, it is the upadhi or the different limiting adjuncts, the body, etc. And that alone creates this difference. But in essence, the fire is one and the same. Similarly, this consciousness is one and the same. Then this consciousness was specifically pointed out as that which is beyond all perception, all experience, divyaha, alaukikaha, amurtaha, that which is beyond all shapes, all types of different forms, purushaha, that which is the indweller of everything, and also that which is complete in itself, that infinite reality, that which includes the within and the without. So which means that within and without it is there, and that with reference to which within and without is there, that also is included in that consciousness only. We took the example of the pot, inside water, outside water, above water, below water, means the pot is in water. So therefore, this body also, with reference to the body only, there is the concept of inside and outside. And if we understand that the self is inside as well as outside, this reality is all pervasive, means the body itself also is included in the self only. Sabhahyabhyantaraha ajaha, that which is birthless. There was never a time that it was not. Apranaha hi amanaha. So by saying ajaha, by saying sabhahyabhyantaraha, it is said that it is beyond the gross body. It does not depend on the gross body for its existence. Prana and amana, aprana amana means that which does not have pranas and manas, or it does not depend on prana and manas for its existence. Shubhraha, that which is pure. Pure means there is no impurity of vasana or ignorance. So the causal body is negated by Shubhraha, the subtle body is negated by Apranaha, Amanaha, and by Ajaha, the gross body also has been negated. So that which is beyond these three bodies, Aksharat Parataf Paraha, that which is beyond the unmanifest also. Beyond that is that Supreme Self. Now, continuing further, Puja Gurudev says this particular chapter and this particular section, he says, is the heart of Mundakopanishad. If this section is removed from the Mundakopanishad, Gurudev goes on to state that this text cannot be given the status of a scripture if this chapter was not there. So it is so important. Why? Because it is talking about that Supreme Self and its manifestations. So it is not just saying that one is there in the many, it is actually saying that everything is in this only. There is nothing beyond that. So here it is said apranaha, amanaha. It doesn't have prana, it doesn't have mind. So when we say it is devoid of prana and manas, why? Why doesn't it have prana or manas? Or why is it not dependent on prana and manas? Because in our existence we say we are dependent on prana, we are dependent on the mind. Means whenever the prana leaves the body, we say death has come. When the mind is not there, there is no world. So we seem to be existing dependent on these. But here he says this Parama Purusha, this Supreme Being, is not dependent on these instruments. Why is it said so? So here in the third mantra, it is pointed out, it is clarified or it is explained. एतस्मात् जायते प्राणः मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च खं वायुर्ज्योतिरापः पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी. Now onwards, every verse, now it is going to talk about this creation, but in a very different manner. Previously, the creation was mentioned, the creative potential and how, what is the relationship between the creator and the creation was mentioned, giving examples, etc. in the very beginning. And some little bit about creation was mentioned. Here, every part of this creation, here it is mentioned as it came from that supreme being, it came from that supreme consciousness, that reality alone is the source of everything. So again and again bringing us back to that reality. So here he is saying, etasmat paramapurushat, from this supreme being or from this infinite consciousness, from that jayate, from that all this springs up, all this is created. What all is created? Prana. So from this is created the prana. So which prana are we talking about? So now in these two clarifications which Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji makes and Gurudev also has explained it, is that when we say etasmat, from this springs up everything else, we have to understand it is not the absolute attributeless Brahman. Because if we are talking about attributeless Brahman, from that nothing comes out. You have to remember the first mantra, Brahma. That Brahma, we said, that same Brahman with reference to the inherent potential called Maya, that combination which is referred to as Ishvara or Hiranyagarbha or Brahmaji in Puranas, that is the source. If that reference to Maya is not there and we say that Supreme Brahman, Satchit Ananda Swarupa Brahman, there is no creation from that standpoint. There has to be the potential reference. It has to be along with that Maya Shakti, only then any creation is possible. So, etasmat. So then all these forthcoming mantras will talk about etasmat. So we have to understand it is from Hiranyagarbhat or it is from Ishwarat. From Ishvara or Hiranyagarbha, this whole creation comes up. Jayate. Pranaha. So this pranaha, here Shankaracharya ji says, pranaha means that real consciousness, that only is the original prana, which is referred to in other Upanishads. Now this is a Atharva Vedi Upanishad, and we read another Atharva Vedi Upanishad is Prashna Upanishad. And Mundakopanishad and Prashna Upanishad are very closely related to each other. So in Prashna Upanishad, that Ishvara is referred to as Prana. In this Upanishad, it is referred to as Brahma, the first word of the first mantra. Brahma. Om Brahma Devanam Pratamassam Babhuva. That Brahma. There in Prashna Upanishad, it is referred to as Prana. So he says, Prana is in the sense of that Brahman expressing as the Ishvara, that Ishvara alone is the real Prana. Then what is this Prana? So he says, it is not real. What do you mean by it is not real? Because, for example, now let us say the example also is given here only, that let us say somebody doesn't have a son and that person sleeps, and in sleep, in dream, he sees that he has a son. So does that make the existence of the son real? No, it is just some appearance that came and say, no, I have a son now. Why? How did you have a son? Because I saw him in the dream. So, a dream son cannot make that person a father. Similarly, here also this prana is just an appearance. Now this aspect has to be understood, this appearance aspect, because this whole chapter is going to talk about this. So whenever I say I am the cause of this, we had talked about this in the beginning, the first section, that when there is a cause, the causes can be of two types, the efficient cause and the material cause. Efficient cause is called as nimitta karana and material cause is called as upadana karana. So efficient cause, in let us say an example, we say there is a pot. In the creation of the pot, the potter is the efficient cause, which is conscious, and he makes the pot. But the pot is made out of what? Clay. So the clay is the material cause. So the material cause is seen in the effect, but that effect is brought about by the efficient cause. So the efficient cause, potter himself is not in the pot, but the pot came into being because of the potter. But the material cause, that is the upadana karan, is in the pot as the pot. So it cannot be separated from the pot, the effect. But in this case, when it says etasmat jayate pranaha, from this Brahman, this self, prana was produced. What is the material cause and what is the efficient cause? Earlier itself, through examples, our first example was of the spider, second example was of the plants and herbs growing on the earth, and the third example was the hair on a living being. So through these examples, it was indicated that effortlessly from oneself only the creation happens. So there is no different material cause, but the cause is also conscious, so it is efficient cause also. So there is here in this case, the efficient cause and the material cause are one and the same. So this is called as abhinna nimitta upadana karan. So where the efficient cause and the material cause are not two different entities, it is that same supreme reality, consciousness, from which this whole creation is coming forth. Etasmat jayate prana. So this prana is produced by whom? Brahman. From what? Brahman. So efficient cause and material cause is one and the same. And when efficient cause and material cause both are one and the same, then what can we say about the effect? What is the effect of such material and efficient cause being one and the same? What will be the effect? For that, the example given is that of a dream. In the dream, what is the efficient cause? It is a mind. What is the material cause with which the mind is creating? The mind only. So mind itself is the efficient cause and the material cause, and the effect is a dream. So when nimitta karan, upadana karan are abhinna, means both of them are one, then the effect will be like a dream, just an appearance. Because there is no different thing that is coming. I am not picking up something and making something. So this Brahman, from itself only, the creation is happening. So there is nothing other than me that is used to create. It is me only. So if it is me only, then it is just an appearance. There is another very beautiful story, a parable that Puja Gurudev narrates, that there was a king And he had a mirrored hall, all different mirrors all around. And he used to go, after getting ready for the court, he used to go inside, look around, and all he used to see is so many kings. But all these kings he knew is he himself only. But that one king, from that one king only, all these kings have come. If we say that, it is not wrong. Poetically, we can say that all these kings have emanated from this one king. But actually, there is only one king. All these are only appearances. Once the king moves out, there is nobody in the mirror. Oh, so can I go and check? Go and check. As soon as I go and check, again there is a samsara. Why? Because there are many I. Whoever goes and checks, there will be many of that. That is why Gurudev in that story says that the king's dog went inside once. And when he saw so many dogs, I thought the king loves only me. But now I understand he comes here and spends time. He's spending time with all these dogs. So I have competition. He looks at everyone angrily and all of them look back angrily. Why? Because there is no many. It is only just one. Others are only appearances. Here the limitation of the example is there is a mirror other than the king. That is the limitation of the example. Whereas the principle states that there is no mirror also. If there is a surface of reflection, that also is coming from same Brahman. There is nothing else from which anything is created. He himself is appearing as many. Etasmat jayate pranaha. So therefore, what is really happening is there is only a new name given. Only a new name given. Actually, what is the creation? Let us say that king goes inside and he sees so many reflections of his own self. Then let us say he names all of them different. Your name is Raju, your name is Kaju, your name is this, your name is that. So he keeps on naming everybody. No, he has given names. Okay, but just because there are so many names does not mean there are so many entities there. So many people existent there. He has given them names because they are appearing. In dream also we have so many names given to each other. I wake up and say, you know, I saw you in my dream. But I never came there. One wife was so angry with the husband. How can you do this to me? What happened? That you slapped me. I dare not do that. I didn't even think of it. What are you talking? How can I slap you? No, I never did that. No, you slapped me. Where? When? In my dream. So, but why are you angry? It was your dream. So that is what? If in my dream you can slap me, then what all you must be doing in your dream? So I have only created. I am the husband, I am the wife, I am the act of slapping, I am the pain, I am the hurt, I am only everything. And when I only become everything, I am myself the efficient and material cause, means the creation is only an appearance. It is only a name, that's all. Etasmat jayate pranaha. Pranaha, then manaha. Manas. So now he say, no, see, from that Brahman only prana and manas, mind, they have come. So now we can call it that it is having prana and mind. Because the previous mantra said apranaha, amanaha. So no prana, no mind. And now you are saying from that Brahman only prana and mind have come forth. So now prana and mind are there. So now Brahman has prana and mind. How can you say? Because this is only an appearance. So when there is an appearance, then how can you say that I have that which is only an appearance? So seeing a son in the dream does not make me a father. On waking up, in the dream, yes, I am still a father. But on waking up, I understand that I have not become a father. Etasmat jayate pranaha manaha sarvendriyani cha, and all the indriyas, all the sense organs. So in this, what we understand, indriyani means the not only sense organs, also the organs of action. So prana, mind and senses are talked about. We have to understand it includes all the entire subtle body. So includes the prana, that is the energizing factors, the karmendriyas, the organs of action that execute things, the jnanendriyas that receive the stimuli, and the mind, the intellect. All this is coming forth from that one source only. So now, as Puja Gurudev would often repeat and make everyone repeat, especially in the Gita, when he would take the 7th or the 9th chapter, he would say, they are in me, I am not in them. So, the most, we are most persecuted by our own mind, our own senses. So my mind is not, especially a spiritual seeker, my mind is not steady, my mind is not pure, my mind is not focused, my mind. So we keep on thinking that our mind is the worst. But when we start thinking about the persecution, who has given the power of persecution to the mind? I am lending it sentiency, I am lending it power, I am lending it existence. It is because of my existence that it appears to exist. Without me, it cannot stay. So all the sense organs, and here Shankaracharya says we should include the Vishayas also, all the objects of the sense organs also. Everything is included in that. And all this is in me, means it is all dependent on me. Their existence is dependent on me. I am not in them. I don't depend on them. I am independent. Etasmat jayate pranaha, manaha, sarvendriyani cha. And not just the subtle body. He says, what constitutes the gross body, that is the 5 elements, that also has come forth from this only. Kham means space, ether. Vayuhu, air. Jyotihi is fire. Apaha, waters. Prithvi, earth. Vishwasya dharini. So here Vishwasya dharini can be understood as for Prithvi, that is a popular meaning, that earth which supports the entire creation, which is the dwelling place for all the jivas, or Vishwasya dharini means that which supports the entire creation are all these 5 elements. So these 5 elements are the ones which are supporting. They only in combination created the whole universe. So the building blocks of the gross body also, and every aspect or factor of the subtle body, including the objects of the senses themselves, the organs of action, the vitalizing power of the pranas, and the mind, intellect, all this is springing forth from that one reality, and that one reality is me. I have to understand it is talking about me, because here the verb is all third person, pronoun is all third person. Etasmat jayate, from this is born. We have to understand that third person pronoun is actually used for me only. Mattah jayate. From me, all this is bringing forth. So I don't need a gross body to live. The gross body needs me to function. I don't need mind and the senses to live. Their existence depends on me. This is the knowledge, the supreme knowledge. And when we contemplate upon this, understand its far-fetched implications, and abide in that self, in that knowledge of the self, knowledge of the self, that's when we really understand what it means. Otherwise, right now it is nice things to read, good. From this everything comes out. Okay, understood. Now what else? Next mantra please. Understood this one. Next, let's go. Now, in a nutshell, the highest has been pointed out. That was pointed out in the very beginning also. But in this section also, after dealing with all the rituals and its results and all these things, the journey of the jiva in the transmigration, all these things, all that has been dealt with after purification of mind, after examining the limitation of such life and coming to the Guru, and this kind of knowledge is imparted. Here in this section, in a nutshell, it has been indicated that there is only one reality, which is beyond all these gross and subtle manifestations and also the unmanifest causal form also. It is beyond all this. All that has been indicated. And also said that alone is the cause or the source of everything that appears today as the part of this creation. That also has been said. But just this much, pointing out this much, sometimes is not sufficient for the student. That is why the Shruti, the scripture itself is going ahead and elaborating on this. That in a nutshell, it has been given, but elaboration is required. Some more detail is needed, and when details are given, there is greater understanding and grasping. So just a formula is taught, that much is not enough. Then how is the formula applied? In what all ways it can be applied? So much. So when we keep on practicing, when we have these mathematic problems and in mathematics they have one formula. Oh, one formula, this is the formula, over. No, that is not the end of it. There has to be some more practice. Then we understand, oh, now we understand the formula correctly. So similarly, here also, briefly it has been indicated. Now it is elaborated. On the same idea is elaborated. For what? For us to understand. So in another place, in the Ishavasya Upanishad, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says that these mantras are not lazy. Means, I have already told, why should I tell you again? No, they are not lazy. They are so compassionate that they again and again speak, because there is no other subject matter, only one is there. There is only one reality. You can't create another reality and say, okay, today we will talk about something else other than Brahman. Why? Because I have been talking about Brahman so much, now it is outdated. So now let us talk about something new. That something new, where does it come from? From Brahman only. So you don't have any other topic to talk about. But in so many different creative ways, that same truth is being pointed out. That is the greatness of our masters, that is the greatness of the scripture, and that elaboration is given just to make the subject matter understandable, graspable for us. So here, the next mantra is a very different way of pointing out. If we are familiar with Bhagavad Gita, there is, there's a 10th chapter and there's a 11th chapter. The 10th chapter talks about in where all that Lord is present. So that one in the many. And then the 11th chapter talks about how everything is in the Lord only. Many in the one. So here this fourth mantra is indicating that many in the one. So previously what was said? That one only gave rise to everything. Oh, then gave rise to everything. Is it different from that one? No, it is included in that one only. So it is coming from that one reality, but it is also included in that reality only. There is nothing other than that. So to indicate that very beautifully, here the fourth mantra says, Agnirmurdha chakshushi chandra suryau Dishashrotre vagvivrtascha vedaha Vayuh prano hridayam vishwamasya Padhyam prithvi yesha sarva bhutantaratma Yesha sarva bhutantaratma. That one supreme reality, along with the infinite potential called Maya, is the source of this entire creation. And when all these things are created, the subtle world, the gross world, and the instruments, everything, when we look at this creation from the perspective of totality, that total creation, it is visualized as one cosmic being, which is called as Virat. Let's talked about in the Purusha Suktam also, in the 11th chapter of the Gita also. In various scriptures in different ways. Some details may vary, but this whole cosmic being, which Gurudev used to call him the universal person, that one being is this whole manifest world. So there are not many things. So this whole Hiranyagarbha, that Brahmaji or that Ishvara created, what did he create? One person. Oh, that one person is different from? No. He himself only became that person. Then what about the sun, moon, stars, heavens and earth and all these things? All that is a part of that person only. So he is saying, Agnirmurdha. So here Agni, the word Agni indicates heavens. So heavens are his head. Head is in the heavens. Agnirmurdha. Chakshushi Chandra Suryau, and his two eyes are the sun and the moon. Dishashrotre, and all the directions, the quarters are Shrotre, his ears. Vag Vivritascha Vedaha, and the popular Veda which expounds everything, all subject matter, all knowledge, is all the words and the formulae are all his speech. Vag Vivritascha Vedaha. Vayuh Pranaha, and his pranas are Vayu, the total air, that is the Vayu, that which is inhaled and exhaled, that Vayu, Pranaha. And his heart, Hridayam Vishwam Asya. This whole world of plurality. Vishwam means Vividham Shvayate. Iti Vishwam. This variety that is there, that is his heart. This whole world is his heart. Vishwamasya. Padbhyam Prithivi. And his feet, that is what has created this earth. Means the feet have only become the earth. So head is the heavens, feet earth, and everything in between, his limbs. And who is he? Sarva Bhutantaratma. He is the inner self of all beings. That is this supreme cosmic being, Virat Purusha or Vishwarupa. So that cosmic being. So when we say Agnir Murdha, go to heavens. I go to heavens, where am I going? I am not going away from this supreme being. He is there also. Then after I exhaust all my merits, my time is over, I am sent back to the earth. His feet only. And if you look at it, oh, I want to go to heavens, I want to go to heavens, means what? I want to sit on your head. But when I come back, all exhausted, I come to his feet. Surrender. Now enough. Now I don't want to go anywhere. I'm here only, holding on to your feet. His eyes are sun and the moon. Means what? Daytime also he is looking at us. Nighttime also he is keeping an eye on us. So there's nothing hidden from him. He is looking. Chakshushi Chandrasuri. Dishashrotre, all directions, his ears. He is listening to everything that we say. And now we don't need to say out also. Inside also the chatter he is listening to. Dishashrotre. Oh. And all this knowledge is his speech. So when we study the scriptures, what are we listening to? When we chant these mantras, what is it that we are chanting? What he has spoken. When we listen to these mantras, we understand we are listening to him speaking to us. And we in our ignorance nowadays, we say, oh, God is there, give me proof. Can you hear? Yes. That is a proof of God. Can you see? Yes. Proof of God. And Gurudev explains very beautifully that these kind of things, you know, sun and the moon are the eyes, and all the directions, and the space is his ears, all those things. We also understand from other scriptures and all, we get to know that every sense organ has a devata, presiding deity. So for example, for the eyes, it is the sun. So it is the sun that is the presiding deity of the eyes. Means what? Seeing is possible only with the grace of the sun. Means what? Means only if there is light can I ever see. Without that, I am not able to see. So here, that sun which is making seeing possible are his eyes. The eyes of the cosmic being. So in that sense also, if we see, we say that no, often there is this notion that Upanishad means knowledge. And then there are other things, no, Ramayana and Bhagavad and all that is bhakti. That is, there you can read and cry and all those things you do that time. This is knowledge, intellectual. People like me, I'm very intellect oriented. I study only Upanishad. But Upanishad has so much of bhakti. When it talks about the cosmic being, what is it? It is a guru only who opens our eyes of bhakti for this. We understand. The very fact, how did this Upanishad begin? The Shanti mantra that we chant every day. Bhadrang karne bhishrunuyama devaha. May we listen to that which is auspicious. And what is it? That is His words, His speech that we are listening to. And when we speak also, may that be auspicious so that is what we will be listening. So the very prayer is answered with this knowledge that once I understand and I recognize that all the sounds are coming from Him only. In Vishnu Sahasranam also, some of the names indicate sounds. The Sughoshaha, Mahaswanaha, all these are names which indicate sounds. Everything that is happening, all that, where is it coming from? It is that cosmic being, the Lord of the universe, that one without a second. And all that only. Even if we consider ourselves as different from Him because of our ignorance, even in that state of ignorance, we understand that it is all coming from that one source only. Even that is good enough to begin with. Because to consider ourselves to be that cosmic being is difficult for us right now because we are too much attached to the body, too much identified with the body. But at least we can understand that all this is that one being. So if we are seeing, it is out of His grace. If we are listening, it is out of His grace. Vayu prana. It is His breath that we are also breathing in and out. So what is the air that we are breathing? Vayu prana. Hridayam Vishwamasya. And where is this whole creation, all these different beings? Where are they? It is His heart. And heart indicates love. Hridayam Vishwamasya. Adhyam Prithvi. So even if we fall, Gurudev says, when we understand and when we are connected to this manifestation in the form of that one cosmic being, even if we fall in life, where do we fall? Gurudev very beautifully puts, we are falling from His shoulder onto His lap. And the child is not scared or does not get affected by that. From the shoulder, fall into the lap. What big loss. We are still there only holding on to Him. And we can never be away from Him. So, Padhyam Prithvi Yesha Sarva Bhutantaratma. He is the inner self of all. So this is a very powerful way of recognizing this entire creation, entire universe as one Virat Purusha. So here we pause and let us sit down silently and try and internalize this, try and experience this. Please sit straight. If you are sitting on the chair, if possible, let's not take the back support. If it is necessary, we may take that, not a problem. But let's try and keep the back straight. The legs steady on the floor, and those seated on the floor, cross-legged in a comfortable position. We can place our palms on the knees or interlocked on the lap. Head, neck and back in one straight line. Eyes gently closed. Keep the body totally relaxed. If you notice any stiffness in any part of the body, just relax that consciously. Let the breathing continue normally. Focus your attention on the breathing as it goes in and out. Keep the attention just outside the nostril and focus on the breathing as it continues normally. Try and visualize the cosmic being, the Virat Purusha, one whose head is the heavens, the eyes are the sun and moon, feet are the earth, his breath is the air, all directions are his ears, speech is the Veda, His heart is this entire universe. I am also included in this grand vision of the cosmic being. Wherever in this cosmic being we find ourselves sitting, contemplating upon this form, let's visualize ourselves also in this grand vision, seated and visualizing this cosmic form. After the Shanti part, please do not make any jerky, sudden movements. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। Slowly start moving the fingers in the palms, toes, the feet, and gradually rest of the lips.